the older population. I would encourage people to think seriously and very seriously about getting vaccinated and getting boosters if you need those.
Well, I have noticed, and we've been talking about this a lot, how it is affecting a lot of our younger ones. You know, we didn't see that so much, or we kind of felt like in the very beginning, especially with COVID, but not saying that they weren't affected, but it seems like now this has been a lot more affected with our young. We're seeing that at schools a lot more. And something we were talking about that, and we want to put this in perspective, that if you are diagnosed and you know, are sent home from school, and or something that we're noticing too around the house, of course, because you are quarantined, but to keep moving and to get up from time to time, keep those lungs active. Is that something that as a doctor, well, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a mom that I'm a helicopter mom.
I understand. You know, moving is always important when you're ill, and I say that you need to move around because it does kind of literally get the blood pumping. But of course, activity is important even when you're ill. I'm not talking about activity where you go outside and get into a contagious environment where you're spreading it. Right. But yeah, this disease affects more of the upper respiratory. So when I say it affects kids also, it's highly contagious, and it's so contagious that children. And remember, the reason the children, I think, are getting it more often than some of the older adults is the older adults are vaccinated. Children under 8 from ages 5 have been eligible to get the vaccine now for a couple of months now. We still have a poor uptake of pediatric vaccines among that age group, and those 12 and up are actually eligible for some boosters. And it's been slow in the uptake. We'd like to see more children vaccinated, and we have the Ad Council website has done a good job and collaborative with our COVID collaborative. We have a good website called getvaccineanswers.org. If you as a parent or grandparents are concerned about the indications for vaccination for their children, I asked them to go on that getvaccineanswers.org, and also asked them to think seriously about giving boosters and continuing all the protective measures we found to be effective, even in the Omicron variant, and that's masking when in public places, indoors, and when you're around strangers outside your family.
Right, and of course, what I've heard from the medical, and I'm not a doctor, and I don't even play one on TV, but what I've heard from the medical too, that it's been going into croup. Or am I saying that right? Croup? Is that right? Croup. Mm-hmm. And that's something that you want to make sure with the little ones and yourself that it doesn't go into that. Are you seeing cases of that?
Well, you know, I will tell you that that's not as common, but that's a more serious side effect when you talk about croup. When you and I, as a family doctor or a pediatrician, talk to my parents of youngsters about croup, but everybody wonders what it is. Well, you kind of know it when you see it. Croup has a medical term, but we hear that croupy cough, that wheezy, almost a horn kind of cough, and you get kind of concerned when that happens. Again, this particular variant doesn't cause that as often, but if it does, you surely need to seek medical advice from your child's pediatrician if you see that. It tends to affect, as I said, more the upper airways, and you might think your child has a bad cold, and they may have a sore throat. So that's one of the indications to really consider being tested if you have a child that's been exposed to COVID.
Well, we appreciate your information and value that. And Ryan, Laura, you got any question you want to ask? Or okay.
Are you seeing more? I have heard that the rapid test, they're not testing positive as much as they are with the PCRs with this new variant. Is that correct?
Well, let me tell you, there are 2 tests available, and most of the general public, especially all the home tests for the most part, are what they call antigen tests. That's the swab where you do the front part of the nose, or occasionally spit into a cup, or swab the throat, depending on the manufacturer's instructions. Most of us in the medical industry use an antigen test for symptomatic individuals. We also may use it at the end of isolation for folks to make sure that they're not spreading the germ. The PCR is a more sensitive test. It's a little more difficult to find. It is harder to get an immediate response. It takes substantial turnaround. Typically has to be done in a laboratory, an office-based lab. It's not one of those home-style tests. Both of them have false positives and false negatives, but they're really the best weapons and tools we have right now to making diagnoses. They're an established way to test, and the the results, we treat them as accurate, especially in a symptomatic person that's positive. If we have a child or a patient that's very symptomatic, that's high risk, and they get a negative test, we typically repeat a test within a short period of time or a day or so later, just to confirm that it really is a true negative.
Awesome. Very good. Well, Doctor, we thank you so much for your time and answering some questions and just putting that out there. And it's important and good information. And I hope that maybe we could talk again and see where we're at as this continues on. Okay.
Rebecca, I appreciate it, and I really thank Ryan and Lori. Thank you for being with us today. Remember, the Ad Council, the COVID Collaborative, the AMA is supporting this. GetVaccineAnswers.org. If you have questions, if you don't get a chance to talk to your healthcare provider, that's a very good website to look at for up-to-date information and answer your questions you might have.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Yep.
All right. Fantastic. All right. So, okay. So some good information. Appreciate you guys. Anyway, ask a question on that. Very good. Good information there. All right. So we'll just see what happens. And as of right now, everybody's still going on forward with it. Just be careful. Remember washing your hands, safe distance, staying safe distance, and also staying home when you're sick, right? All right. Let's see what today is. Today is the 14th day. Do you realize, Ryan, 1 month from today?
Is it Shark Week?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Because Shark Week's big with you, I know.
Yeah, you know it.
Uh-huh. What is
I am so impressed with you.
Hey.
I am.
Hey. Everybody's got their thing, right?
You know, we talked about that. You know, people that actually, and Ryan, this is awesome. And this, I'm going to talk about this because we just had this discussion last night, one of my daughters and I. Okay, people that know you, know a person, and actually listen to them. Okay?
Sure.
And know that what's important to them. So you just knew what is so important to me, which Shark Week is. I am so impressed with you.
I'm telling you.
I am like, that just a star on the refrigerator for you, Ryan.
Well, I like to think that I'm a good listener,
I like that.
good communicator.
Yeah.
I give it a shot.
I
you know.
like that. Well, that
give it a
says
shot.
a lot about yourself. Yeah, very
Well,
good.
thank you.
Well,
so what is a month from today?
Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
School board
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, they have a school board meeting. We have a school board meeting that night.
Hey.
You can
It's
tell
a
me
male
our president is a male.
Hey. Well, I mean, and that
He said,
speaks to
you
why
know-
I didn't know what day it was.
Well,
Right?
he said, "Do you want me to move it?" I was like, "Well, no." But anyway, it was just funny. But, but also it's the radio station's birthday, 69
Wow.
years.
69 years.
I
Wow.
know.
Wow.
I know. So exciting for
We
sure.
need to plan a big party.
Well,
outdoor party.
Virtual. We'll do a virtual. Okay.
Yeah, can we do a Zoom?
A Zoom? Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
you attend, Ryan? Would you be on our
Maybe
Zoom call?
I would. I would.
What
I
is
love
the
that.
cake Holly makes?
Oh, that almond cake.
Almond,
Yeah.
yes.
We'll have her make cake, and we'll have it. Everybody get some
Yeah, we can do a drive-through.
drive-through cake,
Drive-through
and then
cake
everybody
pickup.
come on our Zoom
Yes,
with your
and then
cake,
come
and we
on
can talk.
Zoom
Right?
and
Awesome.
I love that.
I could handle that.
we can
right.
do it.
I'm game.
Today.
You square
in.
away, I'll
I'm
be
in
there.
because Ryan says there's cake,
There's
right?
cake.
Right. Anytime you can make an excuse for cake.
Just
Ryan,
gonna say, buttercream icing, can't go wrong. Okay?
I'm-
Just can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's.
I don't care what kind of
Holly-
cake it is.
Yeah, Holly's all about that. Okay, today is Caesarean section day. Okay.
Interesting.
This is also, and this is, I'm going to say this, and I mean this nicely, not the back end, bottom. Feast of the Ass, and it shows a donkey.
How's
Okay, so.
Okay.
International Kite Day.
Oh.
Okay. Maybe we should go get a kite and fly. That'd be a blast.
Just go
for all
fly a
three of us.
kite.
Yeah. I'm really, that might be a little bit of a superpower that you guys don't know. I'm pretty good at flying kites. Okay. I
Kind of a big deal, aren't you? Yeah.
I don't want to brag on myself.
Yeah. But I can fly that kite now.
I
Tell you.
know.
Awesome.
I don't know if you noticed that about me. International Dress Up Your Pet Day. Oh, that's Laura. That's her day.
me.
Yeah.
I love it.
Wow.
Okay.
Love it, love it.
National Hot Pastrami Day.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good to me. Pothole Day.
Let's fix a few
The
of those.
weather, yeah,
Those out there.
Yeah. Organize Your Home Day.
I can get down with that.
Yeah, me too. So get out and enjoy for sure. All right, real quick, Ryan, we're going to talk about all the great things going on at Skyline Suite, but I thought Laura just had a she's going to clown me for a new baby.
Gorgeous.
She just had a new baby.
Gorgeous.
Okay? Yeah, so I
Is that
thought,
a French?
It
A Frenchie?
is.
Little
Okay.
Frenchie
Little
bulldog?
Frenchie.
Yeah.
okay.
It's cute.
Nala.
It's cute.
Okay, so what we're going to do, Ryan, you and I, we're having a little baby shower for her, okay? So like every baby shower, Ryan, and you're just such the expertise on this. You are such my team player. I tell you
We're
what.
going to play some silly game now.
We just a little bit of a game.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. Is it true or false? Okay. The French. Now, Laura, yeah, you just sit there because you're the mommy. Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
So
She's
sweet when they
she's
sleep.
adorable.
Okay,
Yeah.
she's a little
All right.
otherwise.
Yeah,
Okay.
see?
The French bulldog is surprisingly is or is not surprisingly a good watchdog. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Although not all are yappy, he'll bark to let you know if someone's at the door. The breed can be a little about his territory, but he does a good job. Yes, he is a good dog, guard dog.
All right.
Very good, Ryan. Okay. Are French bulldogs a good companion or not a good companion?
A good companion.
He's the best pal for singles, families, and with kids, couples, anyone. They are playful, loyal, and loving. Okay, very good. You're doing great.
Hey.
Okay.
2 for 2.
Okay, one more.
Here we go.
Can Frenchies, can they fit into a situation? Are they adaptable? Yes or no?
I'd say they'd be a little resistive to change.
Okay. An apartment, a country house, wherever.
Wow.
He's not athletic and he's perfectly happy with daily walks and maybe even a bit of outdoors romp.
Okay.
As long as the temperature's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 2 out of 3. So Ryan, you get a gift. Okay, so
Oh, wow.
you get a 2022 almanac. Yay!
Woo! All right. Yeah.
And for the mom, of course, at every baby shower, you
It's
have to open up a gift.
It's a
Okay.
pick from the mystery
We
bag.
gotta have a baby shower. The mystery bag.
Oh,
So she is the queen.
Oh,
Then she has to have the queen bag. Look at that. Yay!
How
In
stinking
pink.
cute.
In pink. Yeah. So
That's awesome.
our little baby
Thanks,
shower for
thank
your new
you.
baby. Yeah.
I love it.
So that's awesome. Okay. And Ryan, when you get to Skyline Suites, everybody's going to fight you for that book.
You have no idea.
They will love
That's
it.
an understatement. I heard on the radio that you got an almanac, Ryan. You gonna share that with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Brad was here Wednesday, and I had one sitting here. He goes, "Is that an almanac?" He goes, "That new almanac?"
Oh yeah, it's absolutely a generational interest.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
Definitely. So he's like, "Well, because he's, Brad's a big farmer."
Oh yeah.
Green.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I think about that when I think of
Yeah.
him. I really do.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah. Totally.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lots of firsts going on over there.
Definitely. So anyway, so we thought we'd do a little baby shower, but also another thing too. This is important to know. We are talking about all kinds of stuff this morning, but I do want to say they are saying now that masks actually make people look better. They're more attractive. Have you ever thought of that? Okay. The people in the study were asked to rate the attractiveness of faces without a mask. With a plain cloth mask, with a blue medical face mask, and holding a plain black book covering to lower their face. The study found that a face covered with a disposable surgical mask was the most appealing, followed by a cloth mask. Okay.
I mean, it's a competition at our house.
Is
Who can match their mask to their outfit? My
Have-
kids stand
yes.
at a basket and go through them every single morning.
I have noticed some folks doing that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty slick.
Well, the reason the medical masks, they come across caring, reassuring, and positive because we think of like a doctor.
Sure, it's associative. Yeah.
Yeah.
we're
Yeah. So do
kinda
you think?
seeking for that.
Yeah. So I guess it's funny because you go back and you look at doctors with medical, for who've been wearing that for years,
Oh yeah.
and I guess we found them attractive. So I guess that's what you.
Sure.
Ryan raises his eyebrows.
No, I'm I'm gonna be careful here, but I've been duped. Okay.
You've been duped.
I've been
Okay.
duped. I'm thinking, all right,
Right.
she's got it going on. And then
Ryan,
she drops
you
the
should
mask,
just-
and I'm going, oh,
Oh, mask back on. Mask
put
back
it on. Put it back on. Leave something to the imagination. Yeah, that's as far as I'm going to go with it.
Oh, that is hilarious. That is so funny.
Yeah.
That is so funny. So funny. Well, that's Ryan. We couldn't bring you anymore into a female world right here, right?
Oh, I am surrounded by ladies
You-
all the time. All the time. I mean, throughout my career, right? I mean, at Walgreens, all ladies.
Oh, that's
I mean,
hilarious.
there's something, gender coded about working at Walgreens. You know,
Yeah.
guys just did not apply for that position. I don't know what it was. Like they didn't want to wear the scrubs in the pharmacy, or
Oh,
you know, they didn't like the powder blue polos that we wore. I don't know, but it was all ladies, and so you know, and most of them were older than me.
yeah.
You know, I mean, I was 23, 24. Yeah, so I felt like I was managing a lot of my mom, you know, and that was tough. And now I've got a staff of entirely, you know, females, 16, you know, 15, 16 people,
Right.
and all but one resident is female, you know, and then my wife and daughter, right? So me and my son, that's it. He's my only ally
You
in
have to
my
beat your chest every now and
in my
then.
day-to-day,
Right outside
right?
and just,
Like, son, let's go work on something. Let's go tear it apart.
Let's
I
go
don't,
build something.
Yes,
Do
I don't
something.
care.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
you know, but
Yeah.
I do have to tread lightly.
I love
you know,
that. Love,
Just
love,
when you think
love
you've got it figured out, something happens and you walk into a disaster and you're going,
That's right.
what did I do? Was it me?
Whoops.
Okay.
What did I do? What did I do?
Yeah.
What did I do? Yeah. Well, on the it's funny about the you know how I guess we look at masks, and of course it seems like you know more people are wearing masks again because of this new
Sure.
kind of a
Sure.
rise. And our county is red again, so we've hit red again. So we're treading on with that, and I think the schools are evaluating. I know there's you know several schools that have you know gone to virtual because of the staffing. I know Salem is continuing on. And we're trying to, you know, there are several out, but trying to do it the safest and the best way to do it. So,
Sure. Hats off to them.
yeah, absolutely. And of course, Monday will be off because of Martin Luther King Day, which also, remember to, no mail, there'll be no post office.
Right.
So if you're going, so that also means no bills.
Banks, government
Banks,
entities,
yeah.
they're all
So
closed.
Just reminding of that for everybody because that's a little bit of a reminder. So
Absolutely.
if you need
The dump. The dump is closed.
Yes, the
the
dump.
dump,
is
that
closed
is
on
a
Monday.
Huge, that is a huge.
Well, I live on Cox Ferry Road, right? And so I just cringe on the Saturdays that I know the dump's closed. And I see people drive by pulling a trailer full of things. You know, I mean, they've worked all morning
Yeah,
to load
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
And then they get to the dump, womp, 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 you know. I mean, that's
Did you
a,
see him walking, taking the drive of shame, going
yes.
back?
They go back around, you know, come down through Shelby Street, and they're cussing the entire time, right?
You know it. Ooh, yeah.
You see a guy pulling a trailer loaded with trash, talking to himself.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. He's
Yeah,
mad.
yeah,
The dump was
yeah.
closed.
You know, I have a home of
Yeah.
boys.
Uh-huh.
So we had decided they wanted to clean the garage out, get rid of all of the junk that
Hey.
they saved over the years,
Yeah.
and put a gym out there.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Oh, I love that.
Go
yeah.
for it. So they load all this crap up. My oldest son, he's 17. He decides he's going to take all this junk to the dump. I said, great, go do it. He comes back home with no shoes. I said, Dakota, where's your shoes? He had went to kick stuff off of the trailer and kicked his shoe off.
There it was.
So he said, I just kicked the other one in there and came on back home.
Game over.
Had to make a pair.
Cashing in my chips. I'm done.
There you go.
That's
Hey.
yeah.
There it is.
So yes, that's his first and only dump run he's ever done.
Well,
He was over it.
I'm just thinking that, you know, thank goodness he didn't die for it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Didn't say,
Oh,
I'm going to try to get it. You know what I mean?
Life lessons.
Now, I
Tire
don't
shoes.
know that, okay,
No,
I'm
it
thinking,
was like the dudes, the slip-on.
Oh,
and when
yeah.
he went to kick
Yeah.
it brand new, he had
Yeah.
just gone.
Oh,
Okay.
that's terrible.
see, now,
Whatever.
what I would have
You know
done,
what?
I would have tried to find a pole somewhere, a
Yeah.
big, long.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'd have gotten my shoe.
Yeah.
I'd have gotten
Oh,
my shoe.
see, yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, why
yeah.
didn't you try
Yeah.
to get it? He
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, Mom, it went way out there.
Oh, no,
So I
I'd have looked at the
Yeah,
guy on
yeah.
the dozer and been like, hey, I got to get down there. Can you time out for just a second? I got you right
Yeah,
there. That's
yeah.
my shoe.
Yeah, we're very covenant of our shoes.
Leave no man behind.
That's exactly right.
I'm not gonna-
Absolutely.
immediately,
Yeah.
I was like, why
Yeah.
didn't you try to get it? It went too far.
Well, hey,
Yes.
Yeah.
Great time.
So-
Well, I had a big incident one time. I had put some of my boots, and I had several boots at the time, and in a bag, and I was cleaning out my closet, but they were going to go back in my closet. Okay, they were just in the bag while I was cleaning the closet out, and Mr. White took them to the dump, and it was a bad day.
You went to
devastation.
the dump to try to find him, didn't you?
Yeah, like certain days in your life you'll always remember. That's probably
I bet he remembers it too.
yes. I mean, oh yeah. He
Everybody
still
remembers
cringes
it too.
me. I'm sure, like right now, he's probably going low right now.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
man, I don't want to go home again.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, it was a bad time. But anyway, needless to say, I didn't get any boot I wanted.
Yes, yes.
Whatever boots you want to get, you get.
Pull the trigger, honey.
Yeah.
I'll even pay for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you? Okay, so the new season of The Bachelor
Yes,
started.
I'm wondering. I have not. Tell me.
You've not seen it?
No. Okay, give me the scoop. No, I want to know. Okay, is this the new? Okay.
I'm
Okay, I don't know how it ended before. Did she pick the guy you thought she was going to?
Yeah, she
was
did.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Did she pick the good
She
one?
did.
Because there was one that was a little.
Yeah, she picked the guy that I thought she would pick. But the problem with The Bachelor and Bachelorette now is that there's so many podcasts about it.
Yeah,
there's so many insider info.
Yes.
You know, Instagram posts. You know, social media is everywhere.
Yeah.
There's cameras everywhere, and so people spot people, and then it spoils the show. And
I
they
agree.
just ride or die, continue on. You know, and they know it's out there. Everybody knows who she picks or he picks or what have you. So, and my wife is one of those that subscribes to all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So she, I mean, not literally like, oh, I'm going to log on and subscribe to all these, but I mean, mentally, she subscribes to the idea of, oh, I want to read about that.
Well,
you know?
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I typically know who the winner is beforehand because I just don't, you know, I don't want to know, but she tells me.
Yeah.
And so we started, and this guy is a real schmo. I mean, he's just, he seems nice, right? But he's just, I don't know.
What's his background? Was he a
I don't even know.
player?
He's just a meathead.
Good job.
He's a real
Well,
muscular guy.
How did they pick him? I mean,
He was part of the last group, the last crop.
See,
from the
and
Bachelorette.
sometimes when they pick from the last crop like that, I'm not always crazy.
That's where they're going now.
Because I've already seen it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not really.
No.
Yeah. It
Clearly,
makes a long season. Doesn't it?
Clearly, he was not the winner, right? I mean,
yeah,
he's not.
Reason.
He's
there's
not
a
the
reason.
one.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not. Yeah.
We need to do a show on.
So
this.
you know,
Yeah,
hey, if you, I don't know, if you can't succeed, you promote the person, right? Well, I guess that's what they do in the Bachelorette world now.
We are. Well, we were.
I can't say that I'm growing further and further away from it now, Becky.
Well,
I mean, I got
a little bit of a.
I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon.
I feel like I got to turn in my man card every time I watch it anyway.
Oh, no, because you and I have done some really good things. And you brought a bunch of stuff of wisdom to the table. No, see, you're the male, you bring a different perspective.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because, like, when you and I start texting about it, like, you're looking at it through a male's eyes, and I'm looking through a female. So you bring different, you make me think different than. But I did see, okay, hang on, I will take that back. Because I did see one girl came out, and her mom, she had her mom come out from the limo and like introduce her daughter. How did you feel about that? Was that well received?
Well, I mean, I thought it was interesting.
Did you look at her ankles, the mother's ankles? Because you know they always say look at the mom's ankles. Have you ever heard that?
I didn't notice that, but I will absolutely be, you know, a proponent of the theory that look at her mother. Look at her mother. That's what she'll look like in 30 years. I mean, it really will.
What did the ankles remember?
Within reason, obviously, you know, I mean, health and nutrition are kind of more of a forefront than they were 20, 30 years ago now. You know, I mean, more people are, you know, what are they?
Trying to see if she's got some edema.
Yeah,
you know.
I guess, but I don't know. I'm not stepping into that. You guys are setting a trap for me. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to talk about that sort of thing.
I want to go further with this.
Anyway, let's get back to why I don't like the show anymore. Okay, guys? So, I feel like it's just, it's like watching The View.
Yeah.
I can't watch The View because they yep the entire show, and they're upset about these petty things, and there's this infighting and this attitude level at the table that just, you know, you're like, man, do these ladies even like each other?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's
no way that they even that they associate outside of the show. And that's the same way with this. I mean, you got girls on there, there are women, there are girls on there, girls that are just they're playing a game. You know, it's like one girl didn't want to participate in the assigned task of decorating for this little girl's birthday party. You know, because the Bachelor was wanting to, this is so funny, wanting to observe them and how they react and interact with children, you know, in this staged, coerced environment, right?
Oh my God.
I mean, anybody, I call it the honeymoon phase, right? I mean, everybody, anybody, when I hire somebody, 2 weeks, they're on their absolute best behavior for 2 weeks.
You get 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can fake anything for nearly 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably even play a doctor on TV for 2 weeks. Before something serious happens, and then it's obvious that I have no idea what I'm talking about. well, that's the same way with this, and so she's like faking it. She's got the guy like fooled, but she didn't help decorate for the party.
Oh,
And
no.
the other women call her out on it at the end of the, event. And
Right,
she's like,
right.
we weren't getting paid to do that. And I'm not here to decorate, for parties and things. I'm here for him. And, I made it clear that, to him that that's what I'm here for. And so then the other chicks just dump her right in it at the end. They're like, she's not who you think she is.
No.
She's awful. And I swear, if I hear the phrase "here for the right reasons"
I know,
one more time, I looked at Andrew and I said, I swear, if I was ever on this show, I would never say that phrase.
Oh, I bet you would. I just think for some reason.
Either that or I'd say it every sentence.
I think you would. I think for some reason the camera would be on, and for some reason you wouldn't be comfortable in that situation, and you just say, I'm here for the right reason. I mean, Ryan, I would.
I don't know.
I would be off the couch laughing so hard on the floor.
I'd find some other way to say it.
No, I know you would just, which I would love to be a follow along. Love to catch that. But I think that here's the thing though, when they do that, okay. So let's say that this one girl was not decorating, and the other ones. Okay, let's say the other 8 are upset, okay?
Mm.
So here's the thing. Okay, there's so many different ways to play this. Okay.
Yeah.
So out of the 8, one of them is going to have to be the one that is the bird that goes and tells.
She's the spokesperson.
The spokesperson.
Yeah.
Then that's not always received well.
It's not.
Because then that's kind of a tattler.
They have to choose wisely.
Yeah.
She has to be in good standing with him.
Yeah, you know how sometimes in things like don't be a tattletale.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right? So you got that. So then that puts already a tattletale on your marker. Yeah. Well, then the other ones are, because you have those that are like quiet, but are like whispering in her ear to tell. They're the instigators, right?
Oh yeah.
Then the girl then looks bad, and so then she gets on the defense. So it can be really messy, and it seems like every season though we have this scenario.
Every time.
You know what I mean? There's always that scenario where there's that one that
the villain.
The villain.
Mm.
Yeah. And then the villain has been really pretty in the past, though.
They usually are.
Yeah.
They usually are.
They're those crazy.
Either that or they're just so
People
nuts.
say she's crazy. She's talking kind of lazy.
That's a good song.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Wild and free, but love grows where my rosemary goes. I got that stuck in my head now. But anyway, usually the villain is pretty, and the villain,
she's a target.
Yeah.
Because others are intimidated by her, and then she reacts poorly.
Right.
And so I don't know. I think that if they were to, I like to think that I could handle myself better in that situation.
Yeah. What would you do? Would you because
well,
as a male, that villain's looking awful pretty, and she's kind of crazy, so you might be a little attracted to that, right?
Yeah. Well, no.
Ryan.
No, I'm really not. I'm really not.
They jump in that pool randomly. I know.
I'm more of I'm the guy that I look for. What's attractive to me is somebody who is first and foremost kind.
Yeah.
To everybody around them, and because you can be pretty ugly.
Oh.
Even when you're beautiful,
right?
Yeah. And so, I think that's probably the biggest attractive trait. To me, first and foremost. And if you're going to act like that, I like to think that I'd be a little more attuned to it, especially if I was in the situation. Now, if I wasn't there and I'm watching footage of it that's been edited and all that, then that could be.
They did like you picked that girl and you went back and you saw all of this meat. I'd be livid.
I think that's what happens.
Do you think they let them?
Oh, well, it's on TV.
Well, no, but okay, hang on. I thought they kind of like stayed away from that.
Well. Okay,
well, and then while they're showing the new, aren't they still filming the old?
Yeah.
I thought they had to kind of stay away from. Maybe I misunderstood.
Well, so we're several months post-production when when they air the show.
Yeah.
But my thinking is, they get together.
Yeah.
Especially when you see them break up within like the 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. They get together, they get out there, and I think there's a select few of them that don't allow themselves to watch it. The females especially, because they're like, I don't want to see him kissing up on all these other ladies and visiting the fantasy suite and all that stuff. But I think ultimately curiosity gets the better of them, and they sit there and binge it one afternoon, and then it's over. It's done. It's like, but you said the same things to her that you said to me, you know, or
You said I
or
was the
she
prettiest
said,
type.
she said the same things to those other dudes that she said to me. And
Yeah.
wow, you
Yeah.
know, oh,
Yeah.
she was really in love with that guy. Look how distraught she is when
Yeah.
he leaves. She
Yeah.
really liked him. I think she probably liked him more than she liked me.
Yeah.
You know, and so they start telling themselves a story, and then before you know it, they're on the outs. You know,
Well, and then let's go back to the crazy or the
Oh,
one that
that one.
Okay. Honestly, okay, well, let me kind of defend that crazy person for just a moment, because that crazy person usually likes to have fun
Sure.
and is out there
Right.
and really is not bugging the other ones. Just making sure
Right.
that she or let's reverse it to the he when
Sure.
when it's the bachelorette is, because there's always one either way, and making sure that the person is there for the right reason. And on
So you said it.
on the crazy
You said it. It's there for the right reasons.
Right
You said
reasons.
it. It's contagious.
but it is true. No, it's 100%.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Okay, and just like she has a point, you have to see every
You
side.
do.
She
You
has
do.
a point. I didn't come to decorate,
And that's
for,
okay.
for a kid's Christmas or kid's birthday party, and she also might not be a child person at that time. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's no children in her life,
Sure.
and she's there for the other reason, right? So you kind of have to see that maybe, some of them like have been really out there, and it seems like they liked them.
Oh, they have.
Especially on the
Yeah.
Bachelor.
Well, I think there's a certain level of, all right, bro, you got to hold on to her for another 2 weeks, okay?
Yeah, well,
I mean, I think
I think that is.
I
true.
think
Yeah,
the
that's true.
producers
Don't let
are
her-
kind of pulling
yeah,
some
yeah,
strings, and they're like, you got to keep her, you got to keep her, and that's it. After that, you can make your own decisions, but you got to keep her in her. She's good TV, man. We got to hold on to her,
Yeah.
whether you like her or not.
Yeah.
You know, make out with her a little bit for the next couple of weeks. You know, have some fun.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
send her on her way.
What a tough job, right?
Oh, it would be awful.
Horrible
Yeah.
job.
Oh yeah. No. I just, you know, I'm down with her, you know, having fun and, you know, being the free spirit and all that. But it's what she says in response to the other girls and how unreceptive she is to their concerns
Yeah.
about how.
So how do you think she should have said that? Should she have said, "Oh, I'm so sorry"?
Oh, no. I definitely think that she shouldn't have said, we weren't getting paid for this. I didn't come here to decorate for a party, because none of the other 24 ladies came to decorate for a party either, but that was the task.
Yeah.
You know, that was the exercise that was assigned.
You did not understand the assignment.
That's right.
You
There are,
signed up.
and you know, and as little as people want to refer to it as a game, it is.
Oh, yeah.
And the rules to that day's game were, you're going to decorate for the party. You're going to host this birthday party for this young girl because he wants
And
to
the
see
big
how you
thing
act.
now,
with kiddos.
and that's funny that line was said, that I'm not getting paid, because the big thing now is do stuff and don't worry about getting paid for it. Like
That's right.
doing stuff for others.
It's going to come back
And,
to you.
yeah, and
You know, there's
not-
that kindness
yeah,
thing, you know,
and
that I was
that's a
talking
big
about.
that's a big thing.
Yeah.
So again, that could have been planted, because for that to be said and
Right.
that to be done, that could have been a plan right there.
Oh, well, I mean, the way they edited it, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, they could have said, so, I mean, what do you think should have
Yes.
happened?
Yeah.
Do you think it should have been paid? Well, yeah, I mean, we weren't being paid. Oh, there we go. We got her to say it.
There we go. Exactly.
And, you know, and I'm sure, you know,
Yeah.
in those interviews, it looks like they're just
Oh.
talking to the camera.
Oh,
But they're not. The
absolutely.
producers are asking them questions and pulling things out of them. And,
Right.
You know, yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah, exactly. So,
I'm exhausted
so how
about
many
that
weeks
now.
are we into this? I'm going to jump.
I think it's just 2.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think it's 2. I
thought
think
it
we
was
had the
just 1.
initial,
Yeah. So I'm going to jump on this one.
yeah,
Okay,
and
I'm
then
gonna
the
jump on
second
this one.
day after.
I missed
you know.
the last one. I did
Yeah.
see it from time to time, and she was absolutely gorgeous. Every time I saw her, she looked beautiful. But this one, I'm gonna have to watch this. I'm gonna have to jump in. So is the Bachelor? I don't have any clue what he looks like, so I would have to see him.
He's a tall, super tall, really muscular, and they keep putting him in these skin tight shirts. He's looking a little ridiculous, but it's like he's wearing his.
Did you ever put on a comfortable, loose?
Yeah, no,
sweatshirt?
he's wearing his little brother's clothes. I mean, it's just like, man, come on.
No.
Maybe it's his hidden kids.
It could be, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
maybe he's got a child.
But he
Well,
does,
they've had that,
womp, womp, womp.
remember?
Yeah,
The
a
one-
little twist,
Remember,
right?
they've had him.
They have,
children before.
But they were outright with that, you know, and that
Yeah, he
that
does.
guy's still with her.
Yeah.
He's still with her.
Yeah.
I
They got
wondered
married.
if anyone actually stayed
Oh
together.
yeah, there's like 3 or 4 of them, 4 of them I think that are still together.
And
Yeah.
didn't they have a new? Don't they have a new host now?
Yes, it's I can't remember his name, but he's former Jesse. Former NFL player.
Right.
And he's been
Is he
on
doing
Jesse
good?
Palmer, I think is his name.
Is
Jesse
he doing
Palmer.
good? Is he doing good?
I think so.
Okay, because I like Chris really well.
Oh yeah, I do too. That's a whole nother.
And
whole
what
other
was always the funniest
topic.
thing is they couldn't. Okay, like all the roses they give out, but then they have to pause and
Yes.
let Chris come in and
Yes.
out with the Bible.
He was on record saying that he hated doing that.
Did he really?
He did. He's
Hated
like,
that?
for the record, I want to let everybody know that I absolutely hate doing that. He said that's probably my least favorite thing
Part of
to
it.
do. Yeah.
Where you come in.
Ladies and gentlemen, final rose tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And we kind of knew that.
Yeah,
We
So obviously
that
it's
was
the
kind
last
of an
rose.
obvious,
And,
yeah.
you know, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
From the get-go, I was like,
Yeah.
this is so silly.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
And he would kind of like pause and swallow. Like,
Absolutely theatrical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
for the final
He
rose.
had it good.
Yeah.
He
For
did.
sure. And if you were one of those contestants, Ryan, and you did not get a rose, how would you leave? How would you exit?
Keep it classy. Okay? Keep it classy.
Would you let them walk you out, or would you not?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'd let him
Would you
walk
ask
me out.
what happened? Or would you just
No. You know, because I think at that point, and I don't
Do
want
you really, Ryan? Are you not curious, like, what happened?
No, because I mean, if I am curious, right? But I mean, it's pretty obvious to me that she just wasn't vibing me, right? I mean, she just wasn't feeling me, or our conversation wasn't what it should have been, or.
What about it wasn't you, it was me?
That's a line, and it's ridiculous. It's always you, okay? Because I don't think there's anything wrong with me, right? I mean, I just know that you don't gel well with me.
Yeah.
I don't like you. I just don't like you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's not that I don't like you as a person. I think you might be super sweet, and kind, but I'm just not into you.
Yeah.
You know, what was he's just not that into you,
Oh,
right?
love it. Yeah.
Well, she's just not that into him, and that's okay.
right.
You're a nice guy,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but I'm just not that into you. You're not for me.
Yeah.
You're for somebody. You're not for me.
I get a little bit confused at the first two shows. I know Laura's like, okay, one more thing. I get a little confused at the first two episodes. Let's say that the first two shows, how someone leaving can make the comment that the people that are staying were not right.
Oh, yeah.
How do you know that?
You don't.
You know what I mean?
You don't.
How can
That's
you,
why I say
like,
I would say as little as possible. I wouldn't be crying and all
that's what I'm
upset.
saying.
You know?
Yeah, and because you didn't really even know him,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
You know what I mean? So we see a lot of tears, and then they make comments that they were, if why they why he or she left someone else there,
Right.
and gave.
Oh well,
them
if that's what
yeah.
if that's what he wants, then he doesn't
yes.
want me.
How can you say that 2 weeks in? I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying, right?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Now I'm also with what we need to consider is the girls are with the girls, the guys are with the guys, 24 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
And so after 2 weeks, I could probably feel like I have a pretty good read on your personality, right? Now, you asked me what I would say if I were the one that wasn't chosen. If I was like
being walked
out, right? Okay, so if I was like in the last like 3, then I'm gonna want to know what went wrong, because she's saying things to me that reassure me and make me feel pretty special, and I've absolutely said things to her, and so I'm gonna want to know. Did I?
Well,
I mean, what's the difference maker?
You brought her here to Salem.
Oh yeah.
And then we would have to put on our Ritz, like,
get all fancy. No.
The tractor.
We'd be like, oh, Ryan.
Yeah.
Right.
So
If
I mean, you would want to know at that point.
Let's say you did the hometown and you brought her here to the community. Where would you take her?
Where would I take her? Whew, man, I would absolutely take her to the courthouse. I want to show her that, right?
Yeah. And we're getting some new, like the air conditionings are getting changed. We're getting some
Yes,
new
saw that. They're
it's
installing
really
that.
good, yeah.
That's all that sitting
It'd
out
be
there
good.
yesterday.
So, tell her great things are coming.
Great things are coming. I would take her to the bakery because H&R is kind of a staple.
Yeah.
There are people that come from all
But remember,
counties
you're
for
gonna have to
donuts.
eat. I mean, you're gonna have to feed her a big meal later on.
Oh, yeah.
Or something. Okay,
Yeah.
so I love that.
Right.
Get some-
Would probably go for a walk around Celinda.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, like that place.
Yeah.
These are all things I do with my wife, by the way. So,
You're doing hometown.
yeah, not my imaginary girlfriend. Let's just clarify that. I don't have one of those.
When your wife starts getting texts.
Right.
I know.
Ryan
Yeah,
is
Ryan.
thinking about some. No, I'm not. I don't know. That's really hard. I like football games.
The station that you have on the radio as you're going to Celinda, as you're going to the
Oh, it's going to be WSLM
I love
for
that.
sure.
I will play some really, I mean, like
slow soft rock,
songs. We will
80s,
be like,
love songs.
yeah. And then I'll do like the "You've Got to Kiss the Girl."
Yes, that's perfect. Yes.
Yeah, I'll do a little bit of
You got to be the Sebastian. Yeah.
Yeah, Sebastian.
Got to be the lobster.
So we'll have that. Yeah, we will set the mood. Yeah, when hometown comes.
Absolutely.
When you think about that in your hometown, I mean, because that right there tells a lot about your upbringing and
what your day to day is going to be like.
Yeah.
You know, and so for me, it's it's Celinda, it's grocery store, it's football games, basketball games. You know, that's my life. That's what you know.
Would you take her hunting?
I would try to take her hunting.
Yeah.
You know, that's
That
would
be something. Yeah.
That would be. My wife does not want to hunt. She would maybe go and sit one
That's
time.
okay.
But the weather I'd have to take her like early October.
It really works. You complement each other so well because she's with the children and doing that stuff while
Sure.
you're going hunt. So it works really good. You know
Sure.
what I mean? Because if you did have somebody, then it would be hard because you'd both be wanting to go. But also right now, I mean, of course, you know, we're just talking a fantasy here because you are very, very much married. But if you did hometown, would that not be wonderful to take her up to Skyline Suites?
Oh, would, yeah.
Would they not love her? I mean, would that not be a treat?
It would be. It would be.
And first of all, have a meal.
Yeah.
Feed her.
Yes. Because the food is fantastic. Food is fantastic.
Yeah, you right there would be scoring a lot of points. Right?
It is. It's really great. We I got to hang my hat on that. The food is really good.
Yeah.
You will absolutely put on some LBs, some real pounds.
Definitely.
So, I've eaten it 3 times this week.
Yeah.
That's 3 times more than I usually do because I try to just, hey, if I eat there, I will put on 5 or 6 pounds just super quick, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what it's for, you know. I mean, that's what it's designed for. Good food and good fellowship. And so I came back from a hunting trip in Arizona last week, and I got to tell a pretty good story at lunch on Monday. And some of the residents really enjoyed that and got to laughing pretty hard and at my expense, and it was fun, So
what did you do?
Well,
were you hunting?
A buddy and I went to Arizona for an archery desert mule deer hunt. Okay. And, for people who don't really understand the difficulty level in that, vegetation is pretty sparse, right? I mean, so cover is pretty sparse.
Yeah.
And so you have to sneak up on a deer. And so here in Indiana, we don't stalk a whitetail. We sit in a tree stand or in a blind and wait for them to come to us or walk by us, and we sit super still. When you stalk a mule deer or an elk, what you're trying to do is get within 100 yards of them for a bow shot. And there again, here in Indiana, 30-40 yards, that's a long bow shot, so I'm practicing out to 100. That's a football field for reference. And you're trying to hit a basketball size target at 100 yards, and so I actually got to where I could do that. Felt really confident in it. And so that's what we headed out there to do, was this super difficult archery hunt. I mean, and I went with a buddy that I had went to high school with, one of my closest friends, best friend. And so it was nice to reconnect with him. And 2.5 days in the truck on the way there, 2.5 days on the way back, and just reliving glory days of high school. Right?
Did you eat gas station food?
Well, no.
Okay.
No, I'm not big on the roller dogs and nachos and all that stuff.
Hey, don't knock those, okay?
You can just never know how long they've been rolling. Okay, you really don't. You take your health
sorry,
in
they're delicious.
Yeah.
I love them.
Oh, they might be good, but they're definitely not good for you. I don't know. I've just heard too many horror stories, right? And so I've got
how many people's touched them.
Oh yeah,
stuck
yeah.
them back.
Oh yeah. I've got a finite window here to hunt, right? I don't need E. coli poisoning or something like that while I'm. So, but anyway, the first we get to Arizona, and it's raining. It's pouring rain. It never rains, right? It's the desert, guys. It's the desert. They get like, I don't know.
I was trying to think of what the Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, I was trying to think. Yeah.
They get 6 inches of rain like all year long, right? I'm pretty sure they got 6 inches of rain in 72 hours.
So you're the rain man.
I'm the rain man.
Yeah,
it had rained and snowed in New Mexico and Arizona the days leading up to our arrival, and I'm thinking, wow, this is pretty cool. And it does snow, it does get cold enough to snow, but it doesn't rain like that typically. So, but anyway, we get there and it's sustained winds of 20 to 25 miles an hour, and it's raining. And so we're standing under the awning of this pull behind camper that the guides are going to sleep in. And
Not you guys.
No. They set up a pretty cush wall tent. I mean, like the glamping kind of tent, like 20 by 15 size tent. And but the stakes were 18 inches long. They were put in the ground when the ground was kind of soft to begin with, and then it's continued to rain for 2 days. So, it's starting to get dark, put all our stuff in the tent, get comfortable. We're in our sleeping bags,
Sleeping bags.
Oh yeah, sleeping bags on our elevated cots, right? We're hunting outside, right?
Oh, they're He-Man
We're camping.
over here.
We're camping. This is a real deal.
How far was the vehicle?
The truck was parked next to the camper, or next to the tent.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna sleep in the truck. So anyway, we're in the tent,
full experience.
and all night long, just wop 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 wop. I mean, the tent is just getting taken a beating, right? The wind is just
that was a
whipping.
critter.
Yeah, no critters.
Okay.
The wind is just whipping, and it pours rain for 20, 30 minutes, and it quits, and then then kicks up again. This goes on all night long. And at like 5:10, 5:15 in the morning, my buddy looks at me and he says, "Hey Ryan, at what point do we just not get up and go hunting in the morning? We're just not going to see anything." Well, it's supposed to stop raining by the time we get to where we're going. And if it's not raining, then if it's still raining, we'll just stay in the truck, right? Okay. So we lay our heads back down, and like not 5 minutes later, the wind just picks up heavier than it's blowing all night long. It's pouring rain. I mean, the kind of pouring rain, like you got to pull your car over the side of the road. You can't see through the windshield kind of rain.
Yes, yeah.
The wind swirls and comes in the front of the tent and sucks the tent up in the air 30 feet straight up off of us, right? We're laying in our sleeping bags, and I'm yelling. I'm like, "It's going, man! It's going!" And I'm trying to I'm going to reach out and grab this tent, and pull it back down on top of me, right?
No,
I'm not gonna. I have no hope in doing that. I'm not gonna even get close to grabbing it to begin with, and then if I do grab hold of it, it's taking me with it. Went up 30 feet in the air and then straight back 100 yards, and just destroyed the tent. Destroyed it, right? So now we're in the middle of just this fire drill, right? I mean,
the truck is looking awful nice.
Oh yeah,
now.
oh yeah. We get up. I'm grabbing my cot pad and my sleeping bag and my clothes, and that goes in the back of the truck, like in the back seat of the truck. And then I got to go back and get my pack and my bow and my bag of clothing, and running around barefoot in the mud and the rain, and it's pitch dark, right? I mean, we're in the middle of the desert. There's not a light bulb on anywhere, right? Running around, and so 2 trips back and forth. We get all the stuff in the truck, and I look over at him. We're sitting in the truck, soaking wet. He's got water running off his face. He says, "Well, that was interesting," and we're just laughing about it. And so then the big thing all week long was, what would that have been like with our wives?
Oh.
And he's like, how is it that you and I can laugh about this right in the moment? He said, "But if I were here with my wife, we'd be at each other's throats right now, And I said, "Oh yeah, it would be, oh, I can't believe I did this with you. We should have gotten a hotel room. How could you be so stupid? Is all this going to fit in the truck? I mean, while it's pouring rain, right? I mean, and all that last 30 seconds right before, that's what would have went down.
Yeah.
My father was right about you.
My daddy don't do it that way.
That's right. That's right.
That is completely
I would have
you.
never agreed
Yeah.
to it.
My daddy knows how to do it.
Hey,
that is completely your life.
I will be
My
honest with
daddy
you. The
doesn't
first
do it
couple years
that
we were
way.
married, I heard that all the
Yeah,
time. Well,
my-
let's ask Dad. I mean, let's talk to Dad.
Yeah,
Let's see what Dad says. And I'm like, you know what? We don't have to ask your dad every time we do something. It's okay. I got this. And it took a couple of years. Eventually, we got to the point where, you know what?
I
Okay,
love that.
Brian actually does know what he's talking about.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. And if I don't, I'm one of the quickest people to say, I don't know anything about that. I need your help. And so, and I think, everybody could adopt some of that. I think it's a pretty important trait to be able to ask for help whenever you need it.
I agree.
And so, yeah, I absolutely needed help.
So you sit in this truck, and the wind is still going. So what are we at? 4 in the morning, 5 in the
It's
morning?
5:30. Oh, that's the next thing. We're sitting in the truck, and we had set the alarm
Where's
for
the guys
5:30.
at? They're
They're in the camper, right?
Are they seeing any of this
No.
action through the window?
No,
They have.
they're asleep.
They're cush.
They are
Okay.
they are warm and toasty in there, right? And later on, I hear that the camper moved a little bit in the wind.
Oh.
I'm like, okay. So I said, man, should I let Steve know that his tent's gone? And he said, no, not right now, because he's going to want to come out and try to do something to make us feel better in the rain and the wind, and he's going to feel bad that this happened. So just let it ride. We're fine. We're in the truck. Absolutely. Truck's running. We're warm.
So this is your friend.
This is my good buddy.
How thoughtful is he?
Yeah, he's
really like, instead of saying, I would have had get on that door, knock on that door, get somebody up and tell them that we need something done here.
Exactly. Right.
That would have been, I would have been knocking on the door. But
I'd have been driving down the road looking for that hotel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How considerate of your friend.
Yeah.
You tell him that I noticed the
I
attention
will.
to detail on that.
He's a sharp guy. He is.
That he really was like, let's let them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They'll be up in a few minutes. It'll be okay. Just let it play out.
Very kind of him.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so then the guide is telling us his side of the story, later on that day, and he said, I hear, you unlock the truck and the truck start, and he said, I looked at Jed and said, wow, it's 5:30. These guys are in the truck. They're go-getters, and he said, then I get a text from you a few minutes later that says, hey, Steven, some bad news. Your tent blew away. And he said, I'd read that to Jed and said, I think Ryan's messing with me, And he says, I don't know, but let me look. So I see the door open and Jed look out and then the door close. And Jed looks at Steve and says, hey, Ryan's not messing with you. The tent's gone. It's gone. And Steve's like, oh, you're kidding me, and so then he calls me. He's like, man, you're really not messing with me, are you? I said, no, I'm sitting in my truck, soaking wet. And
I love things like this.
I said, all my clothes are wet. I said, we're out this morning. We can't hunt this morning. Everything's wet. Yeah. And I said, okay, well, just wait till these other guys head out. And then you come get in the camper with me and we'll talk it out and figure out what we're going to do. So we wait till the sun comes up and see like 3 different rips in this tent. And the frame poles are bent, and it was legitimate. I've never been in a tornado, but in that moment, I'm asking myself, does the desert have tornadoes? It's sucking my house up off the ground right now.
I love to watch your eyes.
Oh,
sitting there watching, and all of a sudden this tent goes.
This is my little face sticking out of the sleeping bag, like, and you just look up, you're like, oh my god, and my buddy's name is Brian, and Brian is in his sleeping bag.
Ryan.
Yes. Brian is in his sleeping bag, and it's a military sleeping bag, so it has what's called a bivy cover or a bivy sack, which is essentially a tarp kind of garbage bag that goes over your sleeping bag that insulates you. So he doesn't know anything's going on because he's not getting wet or anything. So if I hadn't yelled at him, it would have just sounded like it sounded all night long, right? I'm like, oh, it's going, Brian, it's going. And he's like, so, and also I'm thinking, gosh, what would this have been like with my father-in-law?
Oh.
Yeah.
He
would have been, what? Right. Grab that. You get with his little pin light, turn it on, looking around so he could see what he was doing. And it would have just been me grabbing all the stuff and throwing it in the truck and then helping him into the truck, So no, it was funny though. But we had a really good hunt.
Did you get anything?
We did not get anything. Okay. We got 2 opportunities.
But you had an adventure of a lifetime.
Yes, I did. We had 2 opportunities, and that's really all you can ask for in that situation. It's a lot of glassing, a lot of looking, and then you locate the animal, and then everything just has to go right. The wind has to stay the same. The deer has to stay bedded. And the first stock, a bunch of little javelina pigs. I don't know if you know what those are, but they're essentially the wild pig of the West. And so a herd of about 20, 25 javelinas pushed the buck out of its bed and got it on its feet. And then they're just pests. They, mess with the deer a little bit, aggravate them, so that he gets up and starts walking, and we end up closer to him than what we thought we were. And he smells us and takes off.
He surely had to.
The wind shifted and he smelled us.
Fear.
Yes, he did. And so then we hunted the next 4.5 days, and on the last morning we found a really good buck bedded with a doe, and I started in on it, and the wind was absolutely in my favor. And then the doe decided she was still hungry. She gets up, he gets up, follows her. The wind shifts. I'm at 150 yards, and the wind comes over my back, and I'm like, oh no. And they both turned around and looked at me like I was knocking on their bedroom door, right? Like, and they took off running into the next county, before long at all. So
That woman, the doe's hunger saved their life.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, so
Yeah.
see, the moral of the
See,
story is when
yes.
your wife wants to go down and get a snack, you
You better go with her.
go with her.
Yeah, you better go with her.
Yeah, her, yeah.
Or better yet, go get it for
Go
her.
get it for her.
Yeah,
There we
right.
go. There
Get
we
it for
go.
her. Let her sacrifice herself. Yeah.
Oh, you're bad. You're bad. You're bad. You're bad. So on this, do they have the same like our deer that we know? I mean, like you said, like they're really good. Like they smell. They
Oh
they-
yeah,
they
yeah.
got
Now
that.
an
Do they look
elk,
similar to
they
them?
do look similar. They're much bigger. Okay,
Okay.
so the average mule deer is about 250 pounds.
And this sounds so stupid, and I know. Okay, so like, all right.
I don't know what the difference is between a regular deer
Sure.
and this.
Well, a
That's
mule
what I
deer,
have. What is-
That's mine. Yeah.
Their coloring is a lot different. Okay, so their faces are whiter and grayer, white,
Oh.
the color of white and gray. Their coats are grayer because the landscape is obviously
Right.
dull and devoid of life and all that.
Arizona.
Drier.
I'm glad
you
you're
know.
on the Chamber of Commerce of Arizona.
Right? Yeah.
Dull and gray.
Dull and gray. And their
Windstorms.
ears are huge.
Oh.
So their ears are
Oh.
twice, maybe 3 times the size as a whitetail here in Indiana, right? And so I think that's kind of where they get the mule
I bet so. Yeah.
name
Yeah.
because the mule ears are
Yeah.
usually pretty
Yeah.
large. And then when they run like deer do. They trot, but then when they really get at it, they bound, where all 4 feet come off the ground together, and they're leaping. Oh, yeah. And they just- They'll just
Oh,
hop.
that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean they're different in that regard, but they are bigger. They're just bigger than white-tailed deer are.
And that's
Yeah.
that's very interesting. Well, it's really interesting to hear like the hunting stories, but also to understand the hunting. It's a different world. I mean,
It is.
and you just can't. I know someone, and we've talked about that. It's going to. I mean, like on hunting trips, like you plan for years or a year. Like
We can,
it's not
yeah.
something that
No.
like, and then to even be allowed to do it. I mean, like it's almost like where you get picked, right?
You do. Some states are a draw
Yeah,
where you
well,
have to
that's
build
a draw,
points.
Yeah.
Towards your draw, and then you systematically choose a particular area. But
Very interesting.
but
Sure.
it's more for me. It's more about the experience.
So
it's
you're telling this at the table at
Yeah.
Skyline Suites.
yes.
What are I mean, I can't even imagine their reaction. I mean,
Oh, they're laughing. They're laughing. Pretty hard, and they're well, what are and I'm trying to paint as accurate of a picture as I possibly
Oh,
can.
I think you're pretty good.
So I'm up on my feet, being real, demonstrative about it. I'm acting it out.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, it's going right. It's, I'm
Yeah,
yelling it.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. And they think about, that every once in a while, one of the ladies will say, I went on a camping trip one time with Lee, and that was the only time I ever went. You couldn't get me in a tent after that.
Tell a story.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty special. It's just simple things that really make the difference in their day.
Yeah.
And we know, Lori Lee, that when you have a resident that doesn't get a lot of visitors, their mentality and their mood is not very good at all.
Absolutely.
It really isn't. And so, that's really what we offer to our residents, along with obviously the care and the assistance with activities of daily living. But, what they're lacking is the companionship, the camaraderie, the visitors, somebody to talk to. And so we make jokes about, well, I talked to my grandma on the phone for 25 minutes today, and she told me what she had for breakfast and when she walked the dog and what she plans on doing tonight. But that's the only conversation she's going to have
Oh yeah. Yeah.
all day and maybe all week with somebody else, And so, when I'm there now, my role is more of, interacting, and obviously I'm the driver. I'm taking people to and from doctor's appointments. I'm coordinating a lot of those things
And activities.
we take them to different events and things, which again, now all the things that we were doing are
Right,
closed
yeah.
and locked down again.
Yeah.
And so we're having to get pretty creative with these things.
Right.
But that's something to consider when you're thinking about the care of your loved one.
Absolutely.
What do they really need? And maybe they don't need assistance in the shower or assistance bathing. But if you think about their mental health, and how to combat the advancement of dementia and slow down the effects of Alzheimer's. It's exercising your mind.
Absolutely.
And most often that's as simple as just having a conversation about what you're doing that day, what you have for breakfast. Just let them tell a story that recalls a memory. Talk about your family, and then they talk about their family, and they share a story, and they light up. And really, that's what we do it for. Contrary to popular belief, Trent and I are not getting rich up there on the hill. That's not what we are not.
No.
I'm not. No. We're not. We've created 16, 17 jobs. We're making a difference in these residents' lives.
That was so needed.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've said it for years. I know. I've said it for 20 years.
Sure.
We need an assisted living.
Yeah.
And my compensation is time with my family. I'm leaving early today, and surprising my daughter, we're going to go to a basketball game in Chicago. And
good for you.
Being able to do stuff like that would have. Going to go see the Warriors and the Chicago Bulls.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah. And I got her.
What
Steph Curry is her big player.
Yeah.
Okay, and so she asked for NBA League Pass just so she could watch the West Coast Warriors games. So she stays up till 10 o'clock and watches those games when they play in California, and she watches his master classes on YouTube. How to like ball skills, dribbling, shooting. She knows all the stats. She talks to me like she's an announcer. It's crazy. So we talk shop the next morning. When I have to read the Warriors game, the game, after highlights.
That's gonna be so much fun. What a great
right?
time.
So yeah, she's that's a big Christmas present for her, and and we don't do that sort of thing a lot. We're not going to go to that basketball game a lot, so we got pretty good tickets. And, I've got some really close friends that live in Chicago, and they're going to give us a place to squat for the night, so it's a good trip. But things like that, being able to do things like that with my family now, that's my compensation, and being around, these folks and making a difference in their lives and helping their families. We get very close with them.
Yeah, you do.
Super quick.
Yeah.
It's hard not to, and
definitely.
so I have to explain that to anybody that hires in, hey, this is something that you've not considered, but you're going to get really close to
that
these
family,
folks,
your
and their family. You're going to be
Yeah.
part of their family before it's over.
Brownstown, Seymour, North Vernon, the region's rock classic station, 97.9, 97.9 WSL.
6 minutes past the hour, the Rick and Bubba Show. Here we go. 866 We Be Big is our number. We are glad that you are here today. Speedy, Helmsy, Adler, Greg out should return sometime next week. And welcome back for a brand new hour. Look right there. There's Bill Bubba Bus. Hey, buddy.
Glad to be here. Thank all of you for joining us. All we ask is for like 5 hours each and every day.
Yeah, I'm looking, starting to, the new life here at the new studio, us interacting with other people and them trying to be accustomed to us being here now. You can see the adjustments trying to be made, and it's and I don't really know who I'm learning, but there's still people that work for the company, this broadcast company, Summit Media, that's our partner, and so there's some of those studios that are connected back on the other side, and so I'm trying to learn who works here and who doesn't, because this is when we were at the broadcast plaza, there were other places there, but I never, it was just us inside the building, so the doors to where we were, it just involved us or people that we knew that were friends or whatever. But here, there's a whole corporate building that also, could be walking the halls when you go to the bathroom. So this could be people that work for Summit Media, or this could be people that work for another company in the building. That's a new deal. And I keep holding the door for people that think something's wrong with me.
Right.
Like I'll come out of the bathroom, I go, here you go. And they'll look at me like, what? Well, I'm just opening the door for, I don't work there. I'm sorry, because we have to come through another
I had
another group of offices if you go to the bathroom.
To your point, I had an uncomfortable moment yesterday where I went to the door and a woman was walking up, and she was walking in the direction of Summit Media.
Yeah, I know, it'll throw you.
And so I opened the door, and she just walked right by it, and I'm like, well, alrighty.
Oh, so you're doing it too? I'm not the only
Yeah.
one.
Oh, no. Well, it's our nature to do things like that.
Here you go. The person said,
She just kind of looked. She started grinning and just kind of looked on and just kept going wherever she was going. I thought she worked here the whole time.
I think I scared the janitor lady with the little cart because I opened the door for her and she's like, and it's like she was a little scared of me.
Well, what was the sound?
I don't know. I couldn't tell. She was like,
You're right. Yeah.
like almost like,
Yeah.
like she, flinched a little bit.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I work here. I'm good.
One more time.
Right. It's I don't think.
Are you comfortable in the bathroom yet?
No, I just went in there and saw like brown boots and left.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should be talking about this in there, but I found myself doing something too. And you probably should talk about this. I had to avoid talking to people. I stand at the urinal and act like I'm peeing longer than I am. There, I said it.
I do too.
Oh, really?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do.
So
I do.
I'll look around and I'll see, okay, they're not wrapping up and okay, because they were there before me.
Yes,
and I'm done. And I'm like, wow, so I'm gonna have to engage if we go to the sink together.
Well,
and I'm just gonna stand here until they've washed their hands and leave. And I'm just gonna act like I've got like this guy's gonna think, my goodness, you hadn't used the restroom forever.
Or that it's not making any noise, so you got like issues.
All right, that explains.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about. That actually makes me feel better, Helmsy, because I thought there was just a building full of people with unhealthy prostates.
I did too. I thought the same thing. How about this? I actually encountered someone that I have encountered before that I know. I mean, we were and I know that usually we've had some very, very long conversations. And so I thought to myself, I have to establish early that I've only got 5 minutes, and we've timed the trip here to be in almost 2 minutes. So there is no time for conversations.
No.
When we go to the red, none.
You better wave and keep moving.
And I didn't know how to, to broach the subject with him. And so the first time that I saw him standing at the urinal, I just talked out loud. I tell you what, I'm trying to learn how to come in here and use the restroom and get back to the show, in about 5 minutes. There's just not a lot of time. They got to come in here and go to the bathroom and they do your business and get right back. There's just not a lot of time in here. And this has got me, but I got to get accustomed to this. And by the way, since then, every time he sees, hey man, I know you got to get back.
You're on the run.
Yeah.
But you're still not comfortable enough to fully use, and I'm putting this way, fully use the facility.
No, I tried it one time, and I have a stage fright issue when it comes to a sit down. Now the other,
when you're throwing a curveball,
yeah, I'm fine. But if it's a number one pitch, I can get in and out.
Sure.
The whole place could be packed. Yeah, I'll go over to the corner on the trash can if I need to. but when it comes to the curveball, the situation has to be perfect for me.
Fully use the facility.
Yeah,
you know what you're doing.
Yeah, and y'all saw it. So one day, I went and they were cleaning, and that threw me a terrible curve, and I came back, and then I was encouraged, Rick, go try the second floor, and that second floor, I thought, well, that might be nice. That almost kind of gives you that bookstore feeling, or whatever, where you think you've got everybody's quiet and whatever. But Rick, the second floor is just bustling, just like the first floor.
Well,
and
sure
so I go in. And
I'm gonna help you on that.
And I even come in for a landing, and all of a sudden I just hear this awful commotion. I look, there's shoes next to me, and I'm like, that's it. And I get up and I come back and say, I couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
And then Helmsy told me, Rick, right now, the first floor, there's nobody in there. And the cleaning is over, and I ran as hard as I could go to get there, and I was able to accomplish what needed to be accomplished. But I must have a very quiet bathroom. I can't have people sitting next to me. I just can't get out of my mind that me and a man I've never known both have our pants down and we're sitting next to each other.
All right.
I mean, you're just sitting there next to someone else who has their pants down.
I don't want to help you.
I mean, it's just a weird feeling.
I have found what I think.
And people talking to you,
It's a nightmare.
I have found a good solution, I think.
Okay.
Do you want me to? Because if they're listening, it's maybe.
No, we about want to talk about it off air. Unless do you think it's worth?
I only think I know there's.
Will it help others?
It probably would.
All right, go ahead.
So if both if the bathroom downstairs is closed, the reason
there's a downstairs one?
No, I'm talking about the one here,
Okay,
the first floor bathroom. When it's closed, the reason there's so much traffic upstairs is because of that.
Right.
But if both bathrooms are open and you got to throw a curveball, go upstairs. There's not as many people up there.
If both are
utilizing
operating normally.
both are operating normally, and you got to throw a curveball, go upstairs. Don't even go in the first one.
Have you ever been able to talk?
I have done this both times. I've done it twice since I've been here. Thrown curveballs, maybe 3 times, and no one has ever been in there when I'm in there doing it.
Yeah, I know we all have different levels of sensitivity on this. It was an issue in my marriage. I had to say, look, you just got to know this. Maybe we should have covered this before you married me. When this happens, this natural thing, I'll be off to myself, and I do not want to discuss, landscaping. I don't want to discuss what we're going to do on vacation.
Yeah.
I don't want to discuss, hey, did you take care of whatever? If you see me go there and you see that door shut, it's got to be a long time.
See, what happens on this bottom floor is you have not only people that are, there's more people downstairs, number one.
That's what I need to know.
Number two, you've got a constant flow of people, UPS, post office, and they don't know about the bathroom upstairs.
Okay.
Delivery people,
That's a great call.
Food,
That's a great call.
My biggest issue is I forget, and sometimes I just say things without thinking, just kind of off the spine. Like we went in the other morning, and it must have been one of the busiest times I'd ever seen. There were people everywhere in there.
Yeah.
And I just, as soon as I got in the door, I went, hey, sellout. Like it's a full house.
It's a sellout. Yeah. I love that line.
Yeah.
I love that.
Have you ever been able to talk yourself out of an attack? It's rare.
Yeah.
I was experiencing one this morning.
You'll have an attack.
That's the name attack.
I don't drink a lot of coffee, and sometimes when I do, you got to be careful.
Coffee's a diuretic.
And I ran into the main floor, and I opened that door, and I saw like 4 closed stalls.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's out.
You can't.
So I run upstairs, and there was more up there.
You can't.
And I had to stand at the top of the stairs and go, buddy, you're okay.
How about
can
when you
do
have to
this."
go down through there trying to find out what stalls are?
Oh,
Yeah.
Heckling it.
I guess it was just at a busy time where everybody was getting to work, but it happened this morning.
Look, I don't know where this one guy worked, but one day we were here and he was having a tough day.
Yeah.
I saw his shoes so many times.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple times I saw same shoes. And I was like, man, God love him. IBS. It's
I will say, at the old place, I got used to checking my email and phone. Don't do that in the public because it looks like you're taking a picture or something weird.
yeah, there's all kinds of things.
It's real weird.
Our behaviors had to change on this topic. So to answer your question, Bubba, no, I'm not there yet.
I haven't either.
No.
I just go home.
15 minutes past the hour. More Rick and Bubba next.
It's like school.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
After a busy holiday season, I like to reset my daily routine, and that includes cooking, and HelloFresh helps us all stay on track. They deliver farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and recipes right to my door, saving us a trip to the grocery store so I can get cooking right away. And with 50 menu and market items every week, never get bored eating at home. Go to HelloFresh.com/Bubba and use the code Bubba for 16 free meals plus 3 gifts. That's code Bubba at HelloFresh.com/Bubba, or go to RickandBubba.com. Check the sponsors. Folks, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow team ask us to say thanks for the way you have responded because you're buying a lot of their great products. If you haven't heard, they've got some super deals right now on their pillows, soft Giza, dream sheets, the mattress topper, and more. MyPillows are machine washable, made in the USA, and include a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Their popular buy one, get one premium MyPillow free deal is going on right now. Head to MyPillow.com under radio specials and use the code Bubba, or visit RickandBubba.com. You'll find more information under the sponsors.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
If you feel like you're stuck with a healthcare plan that isn't affordable or you simply don't like it, right now is a great time to switch to MediShare. The typical family saves $500 or more per month with MediShare, and what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the customer satisfaction rate when compared to health insurance. You get access to a massive network of providers and 24/7 telehealth. And MediShare is the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. It's been around for more than 25 years, and it's more than just affordable healthcare, too. You get to be part of a community of Christians who pray for each other and support each other. But here's why now is the time to make the switch. Join before January 15th, and they'll waive your new member fee. You'll save another $170 right off the bat. Call now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is January 15th, so you can save even more. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
This is a court-ordered notice. Current and former Volkswagen and Audi owners or lessees may be eligible to receive payments and other benefits from a legal settlement related to allegedly defective Takata airbags in their vehicles. To see if your vehicle is included and to file a claim, go to autoairbagsettlement.com or call 1-888-735-5596. That's autoairbagsettlement.com or 1-888-735-5596.
Why does Walgreens offer copays as low as $0 and 90-day refills? Because we care about Medicare, so you don't have to. I mean, do you really care to hear me go on about same-day prescription delivery making your life easier? Or how there's a pharmacy expert available 24/7 and one-click refills? Well, I just did anyways. Fill your Medicare prescriptions with Walgreens and save.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Restrictions apply. See walgreens.com/Medicare for complete details.
Taco Bell presents a get-out-of-bedtime story. It's time to wake up from this amazing dream, even though you're jet skiing on lemonade. How extreme! And oh, look at that, you just won the lottery. Is that a castle? Take the keys, it's your property. What's better than swimming in space? Just wait for the big reveal. It's Taco Bell breakfast and it's actually real. So it's time to wake up and bid your dreams farewell, because toasted breakfast burritos are waiting for you, only at Taco Bell. Participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. Whether you want to learn Spanish for future travel plans, French to connect with extended family, or maybe German to land a new job, Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you'll actually use. All you need is 15 minutes a day, and you'll be on your way to confidently speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel is designed by real language experts using a modern conversation-based technique that makes learning fun, engaging, and best of all, memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then sentences gradually get more complex. Soon you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. And with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll be sure to learn what matters most to you. Babbel, language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with lots of sound effects. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here are some zany sounds. Saving on home insurance is no laughing matter. Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need. The money you save could change your life. It's time for you to take your insurance choice seriously. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Mitchell, Bedford, and Bloomington's home for rock classics. 97.9 WSLM.
Minutes past the hour of the Rick and Bubba Show. Thank you for being with us. We'll get to your phone calls coming up here shortly at 866 We Be Big. Rick and Bubba University, the podcast, back out again this weekend. It's back now. A new one. Sid Bream will be our guest. Great interview. We had a great time with him. I think you'll enjoy him because he's got a great story, and you can catch that coming up this weekend. Also, I did find out yesterday, we were talking about the various projects from the Irwin Brothers and American Underdog and trying to go see that and got great feedback on that. Somebody told me that Jesus Music, that other documentary I wanted to see, is now on stream.
Awesome.
They said
Okay.
Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime may have it.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm gonna look, try to catch that over the weekend. Bubba, this headline had you and I tilting our head. Maybe because we have raised teen drivers. I understand now I've had a friend that drove to the national championship game and back from Birmingham, Alabama. He says this notion that we have a shortage of truckers appears not to be true. He said, because I saw plenty of them out on the roads, and it seems like we are hauling something. But anyway, Bubba, when you said it, I thought that maybe you'd messed up and it could be right. U.S. to allow teen semi drivers. Are these people?
It's a test. It's an apprenticeship program.
Right.
But, I thought the whole issue.
Headline is terrifying.
The whole issue with teen drivers is they just don't have experience.
Right.
And that usually causes them to have more accidents. And they get overconfident in their skill and all that. But if you scrape somebody's car at the high school parking lot, that's one thing.
Yeah.
If you're driving an 18-wheeler on the interstate, that's a whole nother.
You think I'm gonna put Brooks Big Love Burgess and when he was a teenager behind the wheel of a semi?
Not with a GPS.
It says right now, currently truckers who cross state lines must be 21 years old. But in this program, that's an apprenticeship, now they're trying to open the door that, they would be driving. They would be alone. Yeah. That they now can drive these big rigs at 18 across state lines.
Yeah, 18 to 20-year-olds would be the program.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know.
Look, there's fender bidders, like you said, and when that big old 18-wheeler has an issue, it's a big issue.
Oh yeah, it can just annihilate a group of cars.
You got to show them respect, but I'm telling you that I just don't. Especially modern day teen drivers, they seem to be.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine how?
We're not talking about Eb that learned to drive on the farm. You know what I mean? And been driving a tractor since he was 12.
No, these today, can you see them shifting and stacking and trying to check their Instagram account? This is going to be
with 8. What is it? How many gears do these trucks have now?
I don't know.
A bunch.
It's a tremendous amount. So it just, I understand that we're worried about our shortage on truck drivers, but I don't know that teenagers 18 to 20 is the answer.
We were worried about this issue was brought up when the railroads were kind of in a retractive mode where they were having less and less railroad cars and they were tearing up tracks, and we've seen them do some great things with that property that they had. But a lot of people were saying, hey, what if we're in a war and we really need the railroads to move large amounts of stuff?